to Lady Patterson and to his family, to Bishop Blake, my dear friend Bishop Maynard, General Board, Jurisdictional officers, and saints. I stand before you today as an example of the impact and the reach of this awesome man of God. This man was a spiritual father. And it's difficult as I stand here to really believe that this moment is happening because I, like you, many of you truly believe that Bishop G.E. Patterson would live forever. And in a real sense, he will. And there's a marvelous revelation in the book of Job. Job declares the Lord gave and the Lord takes away. But blessed be the name of the Lord. What kind of man was this that God would trust him with trouble like Job? God knew that he could put his reputation on the line with Bishop G.E. Patterson, and Bishop Patterson would make him look good going through what other folk would have made him look bad going through. The Lord gave. I was in the 6th grade in Shreveport, Louisiana, watching television as a child when I first heard this man of God. Bountiful Blessings broadcast. G.E. Patterson, that's Gilbert Earl Patterson. P.O. Box 1, Memphis, Tennessee. That was my motivation for going on television, because I was inspired. I wanted to touch the world like Bishop G.E. Patterson. The Lord gave. The Lord sent this preacher to Nashville, and as a young pastor, I received an invitation from this man who I studied and admired from afar to come and preach right here on a Sunday morning. And he took this young Baptist preacher under his wings and reminded folk that I was a different kind of Baptist, the tongue-talking kind. He was a man of God that tore down walls and taught us all that it was not about us, but it was all about the kingdom. The Lord gave. He invited me a year later. What an honor it was to preach at the Soul Winners Conference between Rod Parsley and Juanita Bynum. And he prophesied over my life of what God would do. And he told me face to face, I'm going to sell that tape now. And he would bless you. Oh, when he blessed you, you knew you were blessed. He'll put you in another tax bracket. He was such a giver. The Lord gave. When my wife passed away 2 years ago, it was this man of God who was one of the first to call me and encourage me as I wrestled with the sovereignty of God. And the word he gave me that day literally kept me from sinking into depression. The Lord gave. Just a few years ago, we preached together at TBN. I watched him under the anointing of God as only he could walk. And I watched him remind us that despite our titles and despite our positions and our collars, that we should keep it about Jesus. And when he preached, and oh, he could preach, he would preach you into a coma, then heal you, and then he'd take you places in your spirit you've never been before. He was a walking commentary. He was a marvelous homiletical genius, a hermeneutical paradigm. He could preach about stuff many of us couldn't even pronounce. He would tell you about Zerubbabel and Shealtiel and Zippor, tell you where they were born, who their mama and daddy was, and told you when they died. What a man. The Lord gave. And I watched him, Brother Patterson, I watched him as this whole nation did, as he stood right here and it encouraged this whole world, encouraged his congregation, never complaining but reminding us that God was still up to something. He reminded us that he had good days and bad days and hills to climb, but all of his good days still outweighed his bad days. He never complained. Though God slayed him, he yet trusted in him. What a man. I leave you with this. When I was a young boy, I never will forget, Bishop Maynard, when my hero, Batman, died. I loved Batman as a young boy. I had everything from Batman. I loved him. But one day, Batman slipped and he died. And the television played that unkind trick, to be continued. I went to school the next day and I was trying to figure out, Lord, what's going to happen to Batman? See, because what happened when it looked like Batman died, the Joker and the Penguin took over the city. I got back. Got back from school that day. But Patterson, when I got back from school that day, I sat in front of the television and Batman looked like Batman died, but he really had gone to a deep sleep. And Batman was standing on top of a mountain with his chest stuck out, looking over the city. And I, with adolescent tears in my eyes, I couldn't understand, because I saw Batman in a lot of fix. I saw Batman with the Batmobile demobilized, Batman hanging off a building, but never had I seen Batman in a fix like this. And I asked my daddy, I said, Daddy, tell me how Batman got out. And I've come all the way from Nashville tonight to honor this, my spiritual father, to remind you what my daddy told me. He said, son, Batman got out because it was written in the script. I thank God tonight. Though this earthen house of this tabernacle be dissolved,